It's time now for the Sam Lesante Show with your host, Sam Lesante. A Samsung production.
Folks, over 30-some years ago, Father Joseph J. Ferrara had a dream. His dream was to someday create a music summer workshop. And today I'm at Ferrwood Camp, which is located in beautiful Drums Valley. And we're going to talk to Bob Lagana, who is the orchestra director. We're going to talk to Joan Alvir, who is the camp director, and Father Joseph J. Ferrara himself about this magnificent place. And folks, you all know throughout the years, Father Joseph J. Ferrara with his Philharmonic Society has shared his talents with many people for a zip in terms of money. I know I was one of those students who played the French horn, then played trumpet, had many years of music lessons at no cost to me whatsoever. And a dream he always had was to have young people come to a music workshop. Now folks, he didn't care whether you were rich, whether you were poor, whether you were a Catholic, whether you were Protestant, whether you were Jewish. It makes no difference to Father Joseph J. Ferrara. And his dream is here today. And today I thought I would show you a little bit about Ferrwood Camp. And the first person I'm going to talk to is a person who took over some of the major things for Father Joseph J. Ferrara. It's Bob Lagana. Bob, thanks for having us here at Ferrwood Camp.
Pleased to be here, Sam.
You know, I was here in 1987, 1988 when I graduated from college. Excuse me, 1967. I'm sorry, 1960. I wish I did graduate from college in 87. Bob, tell me a little bit about this camp, the name, and something about the camp so our audience knows a little bit about it.
Well, back in the mid-60s when Father Joe decided to incorporate a full string family into the orchestra and making it the actual Philharmonic Symphony Orchestra, he needed a place to do some intensive studying as far as teaching young people to play strings. We couldn't do it during the entire school year because we just didn't have enough time, so he had this idea that maybe if he took the kids for sort of a vacation with a purpose, that maybe we could do some intensified studying, and it worked well in the earliest years. First couple of years that we did it, the group of children was small, and we tried it in a couple of different places before we found here. Finally, in 1967, an area resident brought our attention to this place, and it was completely overgrown. The brush was waist high, and you couldn't even see that there was a building from out on the road. And once we proved to Luzerne County, who owns the parcel here, that it was here and it existed, they gave us the option to lease the place, which Father Joe very quickly acted upon, and we've been here ever since, 1967.
Well, you know, I noticed that every year you have this, and the facility here is the same as it was back in 1967. It's in immaculate condition. It's just beautiful. As I'm talking to you, Bob, I'd like to give the viewers a little flavor of the place here, and if Sam would just follow me. What we have in the back, okay, is the band shell, right?
Right. That's where we perform our concerts.
Now, if my memory serves me correctly, my good friend Jack Palance, I think, donated this, right?
Yes,
okay.
He certainly did.
And as I said before in the beginning, there is so many people in the greater Hazelton area, all over the people that Father Joe has touched their lives, that have been able to say, hey, Father, here's a little bit to contribute. Because he doesn't charge hardly anything for music lessons. I know he didn't charge me one thing, didn't charge you either when you were in the band with me. But now, for example, in the background, what are they doing in the back now?
All right. Well, obviously, when we crank up our camp season, we take whoever wants to come on all the various ability levels, and we try to do our best to accommodate everybody. So in this particular group, we have the group that's performing behind us here is one of our medium advanced groups, and they will work on their own. There's enough experience up there that they can straighten out some of the problem spots that they have, and they'll practice there till about 10:30 or so, where they'll take their first break.
As I mentioned to you, and if we'll just take a little walk here, then the folks can see how beautiful the grounds are. Absolutely gorgeous here. Right. I mean, and it happens to be a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Bob, does one person need to have an extensive background in music? Let's say a parent wants to send their child to the camp here or to your Philharmonic Society. Do they have to be advanced, or So what level do they have to be at?
No, as a matter of fact, you can be at any level from a ranked beginner up to even the most experienced. Obviously, if you're more experienced, we're probably going to tap on you to do some work as far as trying to teach some of the younger people. But as far as starting, we have some of our youngest who are probably only 6 or 7 years of age taking on flutophone now during this week. There's only a couple of them, but we'll deal with whoever comes to us. It makes no difference.
The flutophone, the first instrument I started on. It's amazing how the story is. I mean, I started on the flutophone, like I guess you did. Remember the flutophone classes?
Yes. Oh, yes.
And you know, you would think I think back and say, well, I started on a flutophone, ended up playing trumpet, you know, and then and of course from that career, from the music career, as you know, Johnny Morano and I then went into the music business.
Yes.
So actually, he launched a career for me, and we'll be so ever grateful for him. That as we go around here, you can see. In fact, I could see over here a young man playing a clarinet. Okay, and I see you have different different groups that are doing. Now, how is it getting string players? Okay, here. Well, I guess they're doing a little. If you turn around,
as far as strings are concerned, they're difficult to find. That's why we found that over the years the best thing to do is to train them ourselves, or do the best we can to train them. Every once in a while someone will come into the area, find out about our organization as a string player, have had some minimal experience, and then we invite them to join our orchestra, certainly. Other young people come to us from various other places. We have several musicians from the Weatherly area, and they come to us with experience on band instruments, brass and woodwinds, and so we try to accommodate everybody, and that's the group that you see behind us here. Many of them are in the Hazelton area school district music programs during the year, and they come to Saturday morning classes, and we help them during the course of the year, and then of course here during the summer months.
How do the young children or the young people enjoy being here?
Well, I'll tell you what, 4 years ago we had stopped overnight camp for several years because of a lack of interest in enrollment. Well, we resurrected it again about 4 years ago. The first year was a little bit tentative because young people weren't used to this type of a circumstance. After the first year here, the children that were here the first year were making plans, picking their bunks for the next year. So it kind of speaks for itself. They enjoy themselves. It's fun to be outside of their home, and they don't have mom and dad to tell them what to do and to clean their room.
No,
so
they have Bob Lagana and Father Joe Ferrara and Joan Alvir.
Joan Alvir, right.
Yeah. Folks, if you just tuned in, I'm here at the Ferrwood Camp in Drums, the beautiful Drums area, and I'm talking to Bob Lagana, who is the orchestra director. We'll be talking to Joan Alvir, who is the camp director, and of course the man himself, the guy who has dedicated his life to young people and to music and to bringing young people together in good, solid fun, Father Joseph J. Ferrara. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to our tour of Ferrwood Camp in Drums area. I'm here at Father Joseph J. Ferrara's Camp Ferrwood, and we're talking to a number of people who are running the camp, and I happen to be now talking to, or will be talking to, Joan Alvir. And Joan is the camp director. She's also a musician, and she's getting herself ready now to perform for us. Here, I'll take that.
Thank you.
Okay. And Joan, while you're getting ready to do a little performance for us, you are the camp director. Tell me what the camp director does. He gets to, I mean, I remember the whistles and the whips and the straps and all that stuff, and these kids are petrified of you.
Well, they're not petrified.
No, I'm only kidding.
Are you petrified of me?
No, I'm only kidding.
No. Well, first of all, I think at the camp here, I kind of serve as the head mother goose. But there's a lot of planning, and the kids know I call myself that as well as they do at times, and I'm sure they call me other things, but we have a very well-structured program, and my job here at the camp is to make sure that all the campers that come here, depending upon their level, we have a very diverse class program, so we go from beginners to advanced, and it's my place, my job, one of my job descriptions is to see that all these children are placed appropriately in their classes so they get a good quality class instruction. And as you have some footage on this tape, you could see that we have a multitude of different classes. Besides having them placed in their classes at the right level, I'm, again, Mother Goose, and so I ensure that, along with the help of two campers, Susan Provizzi and Greg Rohde, who is the boys counselor and the other is the girls counselor. Both are from Weatherly graduates this year. They are here also to help ensure that the policy and procedure is supported here at the camp, the rules are followed, and I think also that something that falls on that agenda is to have fun also. We have a good time with the kids. We have a lot of games and activities structured for the kids every night. It's not just about music being here, as I say to the kids, it's about everything. It's integrating personalities, it's learning to work together as a team in a close environment. It's definitely first and foremost about music, but it's also learning how to get along with other people, and they definitely have a good time. We go swimming every afternoon. They have two options every afternoon. They could either stay here, and we have a very highly entertaining arts and crafts program, or else they can go swimming over at the Cunningham Pool. So, and then once we come back,
So is that all you do?
No, one more thing too. I'm a very good cook, right? Yes. And so that's also one of my responsibilities. Not that I was asked for that, but that's what I do.
You see, folks, you have to get someone here who doesn't talk enough and who's not excited about their job.
You don't have to ask me questions.
I know. People love that. They say, Sandy, shut up and let the people talk. I can see everyone is having a good time here. I've been here many, many times, and it's so nice to see all the young people and people like you, Joan. But there's a lot of dedication here. I mean, you're not making a fortune working. I mean, there's a lot of dedication on Bob's part and your part and the people you said. How about some people who are just tuning in, it's a camp. What about is it safe down here? Is it, for the kids? Is it about?
Oh, it's very safe. We have I'll tell you what, first of all, if I can say this, 30 years ago, Father Joe gave me the gift. He gave me this gift in my life, in my childhood. And at the time, 30 years ago, we never had any problems. And now, 30 years later, although I am older than that, we once again have the same quality of security here. We also now, with things being a little different today, we have a security system, and we have a lot of safety for the children. We have a lot of volunteer parents that are also, their hearts are sunk into the organization. They're very dedicated to the program, so they too, besides having a security system, they are also here pretty much, with the exception of bedtime, they are pretty much here all day long. That's pretty much it.
Girls, and I'm sorry, there's a young man here. Do you have a good time when you come down here? Yeah. Do you recommend any of your friends that come down to camp? Is she all right? Is Joan all right? Your music's flying all over the place. It's a beautiful day. We're going to play just a little bit, folks, to let you know what's going on. Joan Alvir's going to do a solo after this show for 20 minutes. We're going to have a special show on that, right? No, I'm only kidding. Okay. Let's see how they progressed.
Okay. All right. Well, this is something that we actually played in last Friday's concert. It's called the Shoe Symphony.
All right.
Okay, ready?
Folks, as they're playing, we're at Ferrwood Camp in drums. We're going to be talking to Father Joseph J. Ferrara. We'll let you listen to a little bit of this, and then we're going to go to a break.
Okay. Ready? 2, 3, 4.
Folks, we're at Ferrwood Camp, and as I said to you in the beginning of our show, this was a dream of a man who was well respected and loved in the greater Hazelton area, and for that matter all over. His name is Joseph J. Ferrara. He's a Roman Catholic priest. You know, he's been in music over 60 years, never charged 1 penny for his lessons. I happen to be one of those students, and I'm very honored and privileged today to be talking to Father Joseph J. Ferrara. I remember, Father Joe, if you remember, when I was an altar boy for you, and I was playing flutophones, and you had the station wagon. Remember the station wagon? And you were going from St. Nazarius to St. Mary's, and we would have many wrestling matches in your car. are, okay, and I respected you as a second father. Now, let's talk about the Ferrwood camp and how many years you've been in this business.
Camp itself, you mean?
Yes, the camp.
35 years. Yeah. Did Bob tell you this?
Yeah, but I mean, I wanted to find out if he's telling me the truth, because he said 30 years. I figured it had to be a little bit of 35.
I'd say about 35 years.
Father, does this place keep you busy?
Oh, you can't believe how busy this keeps me. And I'm going to be 86, and I'm not as good as I used to be 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I landed in the hospital. Nobody ever expected me to live. But I guess God didn't want me, so I'm back again. But I can't see from here up. I'm fine. Every time my legs are not going up to, but I have to thank God for everything that I've got. Matter of fact, this whole program is based on one thing, faith in God. I could never do all this stuff without His help. You know, I built a church in Berkeley over Lagana. Everybody said, can't be done. That's not my vocabulary.
Believe me, Father, I know that.
And so the same thing with the center in Hazelton. I bought that building because I knew I had a good program, the only program in Pennsylvania like it. It would die with me if I didn't have a place for these kids. Because we moved from one church basement to another. So anyhow, I've been very successful because I've had a lot of faith in God. When they told me, my sister said, Joe, you're 75 years old. What are you trying to do? You can't. You're talking about $1 million. Where are you going to get this $1 million? Well, I said, I don't know. I'm trying to do the work of God. I've been trying to do this work of God. Get the kids off the street. If God wants it. If He doesn't, then I at least try.
Father, one thing that I must say that is that it didn't make any difference who the kid was. You didn't look at the kid whether it was a little Catholic boy, a Protestant boy, or Jew. It was anybody, wasn't it, Father?
Anybody. That's what why our program is successful. But the thing is this, we don't teach music to make great musicians. We teach music to make better kids. And as a priest, that's my job, make better kids. Get them the heck off the street. You remember Father Molino?
Oh, very well.
Okay. When I was first ordained, he said to me, get my kids off the street and put an instrument in their hand. I said, Father, what are you talking about? He said, I know you're a musician. Well, yeah, but I thought now that's all over with, because I was an accomplished musician when I left the seminary. I could write music and play all the instruments. I learned all that in the seminary. I said, I can do all this, but Father, you know what you're talking about. We need a lot of money for instruments. He said, I don't care. Get my kids off the street.
And you did that.
I've been doing that ever since.
Father, the camp here is doing very well. We are showing the viewers how beautiful the camp is, and we're also going to show them the camp in the back, the quarters now that are in good shape. Father, I wish you the best. Thank you very much for inviting us down here today.
Oh, well, I'm glad you came because, very few people know whether it exists.
Well, after this show, they're going to know what's going on.
Well, the point is, that's not the important thing. Publicity don't mean a thing to me.
The camp needs the publicity.
But the point is that I'm doing the job that Father Molino gave me through God's
direction.
And I've been very successful from that standpoint. I've gotten kids off the street.
Father, thank you very much for allowing us to come down here. Folks, we're going to show you a little bit more at Camp Ferrwood. My good friend, Father Joseph J. Ferrara. Stay with us. Welcome back, folks, to the Sam Lesante Show. I'm at Ferrwood Camp. It was a beautiful interview with Father Joe. He touches me every time I talk with him. He's a lovely man. I love him dearly. And now we're in the camp, as we're showing you the Ferrwood Camp. Bob, this is Bob Lagana, in case you just tuned in. He's the orchestra director. Bob, this is the kitchen, right?
This is it. This is where probably most of the activity takes place. The kitchen, this part of the camp is pretty much the same as it was when we first found it. Very little changes here. In fact, a lot of this is original equipment. This whole area right here is just the way we found it, including the large cook stove in the back. So the children come down here for 3 meals a day. First one is at 7:30 in the morning. That's my commitment to the camp. I come down and cook breakfast. My wife Judy and I come down and cook breakfast for the kids. This morning we prepared, I think it was about 5 or 6 dozen of ham and eggs. So we did all right this morning. Then the next meal will be around noontime. That'll be lunch, and then they'll have supper at 4:30.
All right. Well, let's take a tour and let's see what else is available.
Okay, sure.
Bob, right now we're in the hallway here, and I guess this is. Tell us a little bit about this hallway. I see all these pews here.
Well, of course, in the early years of the Philharmonic, when we first started, we had very little by way of resources, and of course we have a lot of children here, and we needed places to sit. And this is, of course, a very nice area to sit because it's all screened in. So many of the churches had undergone some renovation projects, and when they did, they said, "Look, we have the pews. If you want them, just haul them out of here for us." So, in we came with our trucks, and we just hauled them down. So many of these pews go back, the full 30 years that we're here.
Bob, now every place here, the grounds, the dorms, you make use of every place for lessons.
Oh, yes.
And you also give lessons in the hallway here, right?
Oh yeah, you'll hear it because now the break is over. So before long, you'll probably hear music coming from every window and every opening in the camp. And we do have some little annexes on the far side of the kitchen, which were original trailers. I think they were donated to us somewhere along the line. We cleaned those out, and we use those for rehearsal rooms too. So it's a very little area that we can't use, including the fields when it's a nice day.
Yeah. Well, the area here certainly is beautiful. It's so serene. It's nice and comfortable, and it happens to be a beautiful day out today.
Oh yes.
And I noticed in here it's so nice and cool, though.
Right. Well, that has to do with the original reason this building was put here. Many people don't realize it, but this was actually an annex to the Whitehaven State School way back when it was originally constructed, and it was used specifically for the treatment of tuberculin patients. They found that there was a correlation between fresh air and how fast they recovered. So what they did was design this place, and that's why so much of it is screened in and so open and airy, because they were able to actually live outside and recovered a lot faster because of that.
Let's show the folks the dorms. Bob, this is the girls' dorm, right? And look at all, we got all the beautiful girls. Look at all the girls. Wave to everyone. Say hi. Hi. Girls' dorm?
Girls' dorm, yes, basically the same. We always, for some reason, have an overabundance of girls, and so as you can see, it's kind of like a bargain basement in here with all kinds of things. It's pretty much the same as it was when the building was constructed. Very few changes over the years, so it's quite homey when they get finished.
It is very homey, and it's very neat, and it's very clean. Okay, girls, you like it here?
Yeah.
Yeah? It looks like you're having a good time. We're at Ferrwood Camp, and this is the girls' dorm. Bob, and again, lessons are done in here as well.
Oh yes, any place there's more than 5 square feet of space, people are rehearsing.
You have a lesson. Well, let's see what the boys' dorm looks like. Now, folks, as you can tell, we're at the boys' dorm. Say hi, guys.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
So, Bob.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
All right, that's it. That's it. Bob, the boys' dorm. Tell me a little bit about the boys.
Well, this is the extreme upper end of the camp, and we've had to do a lot of work in here during this year because over the life of the camp, we have had some deterioration, obviously, and some of the biggest work that we had to do this past season was here. We've had to do some structural repairs, but thank heavens we got most of it done. We're re-roofed where it was leaking, and we've got new lumber where it was rotted, and we're in good shape now. We're ready for another 30 more.
Well, that's it. Well, let's go outside again, and we'll wrap it up outside, folks.
Bye.
And folks, you see, as Bob said, there you are in the background. They're practicing out in the beautiful weather here, and drums at the Ferrwood camp. So, Bob, basically, again, at this camp, there's lessons being given all times. There's recreation in the afternoons when it's nice like this. You take them swimming 3 squares a day. Father Joe's here all the time. It's just a fun environment.
Oh yeah, we have had very few people who've left here that haven't had a good time, and if they didn't have a good time here. We can't for the life of us figure out why they didn't.
Well, you can tell from the kids all coming around here, all bubbly, they're exciting, and everyone has a smile on their face. They're all having a great time.
Yes, this is it, and we found that music, in that respect, is a good way to give people some meaning in their lives.
There's an old expression, Bob, even the richest child is poor without music.
Couldn't have said it better.
Bob, thanks for your
Pleasure
time.
to all our son. Thank you.
Hey, folks, we took you on a tour. We talked to Bob Lagana. We talked to Joan Alvir. We talked to the man himself, Father Joseph J. Ferrara. He had a dream many years ago to keep kids off the streets, and boy, isn't that so needed today, to keep kids off the streets and make them feel good about themselves, and also to be able to work and play with their friends. One thing about Father Joseph J. Ferrara, he never asked for money. And this show is not to ask anyone for money, but let me just say this, folks. If you feel a need or an opportunity to contribute to help the Philharmonic Society, they have concerts here. They never charge for anything. They pass a basket around and get some money. But if there's anything you can do to help them out, and remember, Father Joe doesn't look at a person, what religion he is, how much money or whatever, poor or rich or indifferent, Father Joe accepts everyone. We hope you enjoyed this little tour, and if you could help out the Philharmonic Society, I'm sure they'll be greatly appreciated. They did not ask me to do this. I am asking you myself, because I am a person who benefited from this particular society. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Sam Lesante Show.
This has been a Samson production.